Hello everybody, welcome to Module 3. In this module, we'll be expanding on the idea of journal entries, going from regular business transactions into adjusting entries. So adjusting entries are basically what we do to make sure that our books or records are accurate, typically before the ending of a reporting period. This is kind of a bridge module between recording regular business transactions and making closing journal entry to officially close out a period, which we'll look at in Module 4. One thing I want to focus on at this point in time as we go through the accounting cycle is your assignment number 1. As mentioned, this is worth 10% of your grade and it will be marked formally. And as you can see in the assignments tab, we can scroll down to assignment number 1 and we can go ahead and access it by hitting the download button within that link. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll open up the assignment. So we can see over here that it's quite a long assignment, so it'll take you some time to go through it. But the good news for you is you get a chance to practice the entire accounting cycle. So this is really meant to be done after Module 5, but it's designed in a way that you can actually start working on it a little bit earlier and practice as you proceed through the course. So we're going to start off with a list of regular business transactions. And if there's something here that you don't recognize just yet, don't panic. For example, discount terms is something we will cover in Module 5. But there's no reason why you can't start working on this, working your way through this. So it starts off with just making regular business journal entries, right, from A to I. And I ask you to put down a brief description for each journal entry, right? So you're going to see a lot of familiar transactions that we'd already covered in our notes. So hopefully that can be a guide of sorts for you as you proceed to this assignment. After you make your initial journal entries, then we will go into adjusting and closing entries, right? So there won't be too many adjusting entries here, but there will be a significant number of closing entries. And as a hint, I tell you that it might be easier to complete part 3 first, which is T accounts. And that exercise will basically tell you how much you need to close for all your temporary accounts. But just remember, we're not closing any permanent accounts. Anything you see on the balance sheet will not be closed, but we'll be closing temporary accounts. So as mentioned, part 3, you'll make T accounts. You will draw the T shape and then post your amounts for each transaction into T accounts, and then you'll sum them up to determine the end balance, right? So that's the bulk of your assignment. The remaining 2 parts shouldn't take you too long. One will be to make an income statement, number 4. Again, if you have done the exercise correctly, basically you're pulling out the accounts which belong on the income statement, right? The revenues and the expenses, and make sure you follow the proper format. So you write down the company name at the top, and then the nature of the financial statement, income statement in this case, on the second line, and then for the period, the reporting period, on the third line. Finally, you'll make a balance sheet. And a hint here that you're required to make sure that your income is a part of capital to make your balance sheet balance. Now, you might run into some troubles here where your balance sheet doesn't balance. You might have some doubts as you complete this assignment, but don't worry. I'm not going to grade this too harshly. Basically, if you make one or two small mistakes along the way, it's really easy to get 90 or 95% on an assignment like this, right? It's hard to get 100% just because there can be a small mistake somewhere. So if you make a mistake, don't stress over trying to find it. It probably won't affect your grade at the end of the semester, at the end of the course. So I would just recommend go through the process, get a feel for what accounting is all about. Go through the accounting cycle. That's the main thing. The idea is not to have everything perfect, but to learn how the accounting cycle works. And with that spirit in mind, I will grade your assignment accordingly. Again, this will be due at the midpoint of the course. You'll also have your take home assessment. Midpoint take home essay will be due at the same point of the course. So just be aware of that. There's something you can start working on at this point to kind of ease the burden on you. All right. Once again, if any questions or concerns come up, please feel free to reach out. We will be having our regular scheduled office hours this week, so I hope you take advantage of that. And if you want a one-on-one meeting, you can also reach out to me, and we'll find a time that works. All right. Goodbye for now. See you in the next module.